My first time behind the wheel was it was very scary because I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but at least I had my dad with me, and driver's ed teacher, so it was scary, but I learned. So yeah, that was my first time behind the wheel.
I still remember when I first got my license. I went home from the DMV. We had football practice that day, so I picked up my friend Andrew. We got in the car, we got Taco Bell. I was actually driving down a side street and I had to pull in and come back out. I almost got T-boned by an old lady because I wasn't really looking. So if there's any advice, just because you get your license, you're not invincible. You still got to drive safely. You got to check those blind spots, check those mirrors, you know what I'm saying? And just be safe and have fun.
The first time I drove, I almost got in a car accident, but I swerved my way out of it, and I survived, and I learned my lesson.
So I was backing up, and then I wanted to go into my driveway, and I stepped on the gas too much, and I crashed into the wall, and broke my house.
I was scared to make a left-hand turn.
So my first time driving was in a stick shift car, and my mom forgot the emergency brake was on, and so I kept doing the pedals and stuff, and I was doing everything right. But since the emergency brake was on, it wasn't moving, so I put more gas, and I did a burnout on accident. And so I stopped the car, got out, and got in the passenger seat, and we drove away.
Well, the first time I drove, I was parked, and then I went to hit the brake pedal to put it in drive, right? And then I accidentally hit the gas pedal, and the RPMs got to 5,000. I almost flew off into the wash. It was great.
My first time driving was kind of tragic because I was driving and accidentally, instead of putting it into drive, I put it into neutral, and I just started rolling, and I got yelled at a lot. So
The first time I drove, I was in a pink car, and I was going around in my neighborhood, and I didn't know which one was the gas and which one was the brake, and it was real funny.
The first time I drove, I was 8 years old, and I just steered on some blank road in the middle of nowhere.
When I first started driving, my dad made me drive stick shift, and I stalled at an intersection at least twice in the first 2 months, and then I was great.
So the first time I was driving is my girl let me drive her whip. And so when she first let me drive, it was just down my street, and I didn't have a license, I didn't have a permit, and I was doing pretty good. And so one day she let me drive from school, and we were over there in the parking lot. And so when I went to go turn out of the parking lot, I turned too quick and too much, and I almost hit a car.
Okay, so the first time I drove was to get the mail. My dad helped me out, and I kept going too fast over the speed bumps, and then when we got home, I almost drove into the house, so.
Crashed that ish into a pole, man.
I was in a parking lot, and everybody's waiting to get into a parking space, and I'm behind this lady in a giant truck, right? And she starts backing up to into a new spot, okay? So then I'm like, okay, I'm a new driver, I'm an idiot, so I'm like, oh, she'll see me, she'll stop, boom. She hits me. She's backed up into me. So this lady was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, it was totally my fault, my bad, whatever. And she goes back and she tells the insurance that it was my fault.
Came out my neighborhood, it was my dad, me, Padre, and came out, was merging on the traffic on Speedway, right? 5 minutes from the school, and almost got clipped by a speeder going 50. So, don't speed, kids, you're not invincible, and, just be careful out there.